Heidi-ho, friends, fiends, and fellow UBTubers, and welcome to episode 798 of the Daily Comic and Collectible. Today, the collectible of the day is the Mcfarlane Toys, DC Universe, Deluxe Theatrical Release, Superman and Krypto, action figures. Both a son of the otherworldly Krypton and planet Earth's Smallville, Superman, also known as Metropolis's Daily Planet reporter Clark Kent, must now juggle both jobs and personas while under the most severe attack he's ever faced. This incredibly detailed 7-inch scale figure is based on the character's appearance in the Superman feature film from DC Studios. Featuring intricate details and hand-painted deco, this figure also features a new sculpt and a wired soft goods cape. Designed with ultra articulation, with up to 22 moving parts for a full range of posing and displaying in your DC collection. This Superman action figure also includes Krypto the SUPERDOG, plus 3 alternate faceplates, 2 extra hands, and an included figure base. Also included with this box set is a collectible art card with character art on the front and character biography on the back. This Superman action figure comes in a full window display box and was released this year in 2025 by Mcfarlane Toys. Now, the comic of the day is DC's Phantom Zone, Volume 1, Issue number 3 out of 4, with a cover date of March 1982. This issue features Superman and Supergirl, and is titled The Terror Beyond Twilight. The story opens at the edge of the ethereal section of the Phantom Zone, where Superman and Charlie Questel have decided to press on, piercing into the next layer of the zone and into the unknown. As they penetrate various lower or higher levels of the Phantom Zone, they encounter an alternating yellow and red vortex sun, which Superman had once seen while racing with the Flash. Meanwhile, at the Fortress of Solitude, Supergirl has been beaten into unconsciousness by the escaped Phantom Zone villains on Earth. There, Zod decides the best way to kill her isn't to simply crush her skull and be done with it. Instead, he throws her into the atomic cauldron. However, Supergirl barely saves herself by reviving in time and digging her fingers into the sides of the pit's walls. She drags herself up the side and out of the pit and collapses. Meanwhile, back in Metropolis, Batman appears at Charlie Questel's apartment to investigate Superman's disappearance. There, he runs into Jer-M, another escapee from the Phantom Zone, the religious zealot who brought Argo City to its ultimate fate. However, Batman's skills save him from the Kryptonian's form of holy vengeance. Meanwhile, back in the Phantom Zone, Superman and Charlie are battling monsters. In this plane of existence, with the unstable sun, is home to a nightmarish bird with humanoid faces. Superman and Charlie look like a perfect meal. Luckily, the sun switches from red to yellow, and Superman suddenly has his powers back. And with a few well-placed punches, he's able to free himself and Charlie, and they fly to safety. The next portal looks like a crystalline face. With no choice, Superman flies through the mouth to escape this uncertain world. Next, they encounter the Temple of the Crimson Sun, as they see barely clothed women lounging around a spa-like pool. However, all these women are wearing masks that cover up what each person thinks is their greatest sin. For Superman, she removes her mask to show that her head is actually the planet Krypton itself. Krypton was meant to explode, and suddenly a bevy of Krypton-headed beauties have their heads explode, throwing Superman into the waters of the pool. As for Charlie, his greatest sin was removing the horns from Rondors. So to no surprise, when the woman removes her mask, she has the head of a Rondor. Charlie is then told of who he really was on Krypton, and his earthly clothes transmute into his classic Kryptonian garb. Then, the Rondor head morphs into a Phantom Zone projector, condemning him for his sins and blasting him into the pool as well. Finally, they meet Thulkar, a Kryptonian wizard. Thulkar tells them that he believed Jor-El's prophecy of Krypton's doom and entered the Phantom Zone by magic. While there, he discovered the truth, that the zone and all its levels are manifested as the interface between the Earth 1 dimension and that of a sentient universe called Ether. Only by entering Ether's realm can they escape back to Earth, and that is dangerous indeed. Charlie and Superman bid farewell to Thulkar and enter the portal between the last zone level and Ether, who strikes back with an energy burst that knocks both of the two invaders out. Back on Earth, at the Fortress of Solitude, while Supergirl recovers, she notices a lot of scientific equipment missing, and the whole place trashed. Meanwhile, Zod and his 3 chosen allies are building a giant Phantom Zone projector, powered by the Green Lantern's power battery, to project the Earth itself into the Phantom Zone. This story is continued in the Phantom Zone, issue number 4. Geek Fact. This is a key issue featuring the first appearance of Ether, a godlike being who exists in the Phantom Zone. Bonus Geek Fact. The Phantom Zone is an interdimensional realm outside the normal space-time continuum. It's a timeless dimension, a vast expansion of near nothingness. It's also the permeable membrane between the light side of the DC multiverse and the dark multiverse. Along with it being a projection of a living mind, a god's mind, that belongs to a being called Ether, it's a place where consciousness could survive without a tangible body, where prisoners would never age, die, or escape. But only when Ether slept. When it awakened, everything changed. This became a place of living nightmares. The Phantom Zone is the domain of Ether, and those who breach the dimension walls, tearing the fabric of his mind without warning or permission, will sire his ire and won't go unpunished. Another bonus geek fact. Superman mentions that he saw the Vortex Sun once before while racing the Flash. This happened in World's Finest, Volume 1, issue number 198, with the cover date of November 1970. DC's Hostess Heroes.
What? Aquaman?
And Pirates Gold.
An undersea explosion shakes the continent of Atlantis.
Great guppies!
There's the cause, Aqualad. Those surface men are planting explosives. You've got to stop. Your blasts will shake Atlantis to pieces.
Sorry, Aquaman. Our map says there's pirate's gold, sunken treasure down here. Nothing you can say will stop us.
What can we do, Aquaman?
They want gold? I know just what to give them. Shortly.
Look, it's a treasure chest.
And soon at sea level. Wow, this is a real treasure.
Oh, say, Hostess Twinkies cakes.
Who needs gold doubloons when we can have these delicious golden sponge cakes?
Let's head back to land and search for more treasure. Twinkies cakes on our grocery shelves.
You get a big delight in every bite of Hostess Twinkies cakes.
Well, I guess it would be nice if I could reach everybody, but I gotta be picky who I give my facts to. But I gotta think twice before I give my facts away. I gotta have 3 facts a day, and it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 52 weeks a year too. Oh, I need 2 days a week from that emotion. Time to pick my brain up off the floor. But when facts come down without devotion, well, it's gonna take a strong cat, baby, to keep giving you more. 'Cause I gotta have facts. I gotta have facts. 'Cause I gotta have facts, facts, and facts. I gotta have the final geek fact. That's right. You gotta have facts, baby.
When Superman and QU sought to escape the Phantom Zone, they encountered Thulkar guarding the gate. Like Kal-El, he had also escaped Krypton's destruction, but had used sorcery rather than science. Thulkar came from the unexplored valley of Juru on Krypton, and despite his purely magical orientation, was one of the only Kryptonians to believe the scientist Jor-El's dire warnings of planetary cataclysm. When the final day came, Thulkar entered the Phantom Zone by way of occult practices centered around the Orb of Juru. Thul's further attempts to escape the zone brought him through the internal barriers into the presence of the god Ether. But even with his newfound Kryptonian powers and Juru sorcery, he could not defeat the Twilight God, and was desiccated by his power. As the Phantom Zone was a manifestation of Ether's thoughts, Thulkar resigned himself to the god's service as guardian of the final border realm, only escaping once to quickly return. Thulkar inhabited a castle that was actually the final doorway to Ether, and asked those who reached it to remain there, as he believed that none could triumph over the Twilight God. But when directed by Superman, he revealed that the portal to Ether was in the hearth. Because Superman's heart was full of hope, he was able to pass through the portal that Thul had not, and return to the outside world. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again Friday. This is Cut Fun Comics Man, and I'll catch you on the flip, baby. Over and out.